Hi there, this is Penelope. This is question 7 of the DE4102 Test 1, Trimester 1, 2021 at Welltech. Now, this question in a lot of different sort of ways comes up often in the exam. And so it's a good chance for you to get a reasonable number of marks for relatively little effort. One of the things you need to remember for this question, as in the last question, T is positive. Okay, the amplitude, that's the easy one. You just read that off. It is 50. And probably to be careful, give the units. The periodic time is T. It's given to you. The formula is given to you. In this case, it's 2 pi over omega, and omega is pi, which equals 2. And again, give the time in units. Now the angular frequency is omega, and omega is pi. Okay, because the standard form of one of these is y equals a sine omega t plus alpha. You're asked to find the phase angle. The phase angle is 10 volts. Now, here's where a lot of you went wrong. You failed to have your calculator in radians. And you must do that because we're talking pi's, okay? Pi is there and time, so both of those indicate that you need to have your calculator in radians. So that would be, you would need to find V equals 50 sine 0 plus 10, and then that is negative 27.2011. Now the frequency is 1 over time. So time was 2 seconds, so that is 1 over 2. And well done to those of you that put in the units there of hertz. The time displacement, that's phi. Now I did accept it without the negative sign. The formula does make a point of saying that. But just be careful because you know, you do have to be really, really careful. So that's the formula there. Now, the time when the current is a maximum, some of you were very smart about this, and I'll look at that in a minute. What I expected you to do was to say, well, the current is a maximum at 50, and that's what I need my, not current, voltage, sorry, to be 50, and I need to then solve for T like that. So dividing both sides by 50, we get 1 equals sine pi t plus 10. You could say the inverse sine of sine pi t is just pi t plus 10 is equal to sine inverse of 1, and sine inverse of 1 is going to be either pi by 2, or you could do it in decimals depending on what you feel like. Doing it as decimals means it's a little bit easier to go on from there, and then we're going to say, so pi t equals pi by 2, or that number, minus 10, and a bit more space, and then t is going to be that divided by pi. And you get a number of answers. You'd get t equals negative 2.683, and then if you think about the time period being 2 seconds, 2 seconds further on it will be peaked again, So that plus 2. And both of those are negative, so both of those we can't have. So we need to have another 2 onto 2 seconds on top of that, and that will give us 1.317. So that is the answer that we require. Now, some of you, I was really impressed by how you worked this. You knew that the time period was 2 seconds. So the unshifted peak would be at 0.5 seconds, but obviously it is a shifted peak, and the time displacement is, as you've already worked out, that. So 0.5 minus 10 over pi would give you negative 2.683. Again, then the logic has to be that that's not correct. You need to add 2 to that. It's still not correct. And you need to add 2 to that again because it's still not right. And you come up with the same solution. So I was really impressed by those who figured it out without doing the actual calculation. Really good understanding, that shows, but full marks for doing the solving, doing the algebra as well. That's question 7.